save some for us in the Midwest. We want a white Christmas too. Yeah, we're going to be talking with Veronica out in New Jersey, so she's getting to know as well about her trip to Coronado Spring. When was the trip? I can't remember.
November 18th to the 24th.
So
right before Thanksgiving.
18 to 24. Man, time is trucking. It was going slow. Now it's like all of a sudden it's like warp speed.
Yeah, we had to quarantine for 2 weeks, so we kind of had that like countdown going.
Yeah, my daughter at college was contact traced, and she just.
Oh no.
Yeah, she got out Saturday. She was like, "I'm free."
Yeah.
She lives in a small apartment with 3 roommates, so it was not the ideal spot to be quarantined. Should have stayed in like one room.
Yeah.
But what can you do? Okay, so we'll get correct in here. Hey, Justin. I was just talking to Justin on email. Hope you guys are safe down there in Tampa with those tornadoes. You got snow up in New Jersey. You guys have tornadoes in Florida. We just have cold. Nothing. Like it's going to be 21 when I run in the morning. Not fun. All right, here we go. Let's get this down. It's 1823. Welcome to episode 1823 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And of course, one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Well, I can't say Merry Christmas anymore. Well, I guess we can say Happy Holidays. We got the, I guess maybe even more than Christmas this year. We're looking forward to 2020 just getting out the door, so we get to do that this coming weekend. But I hope you did have a wonderful Christmas weekend there with your friends and family. Hanukkah for those that celebrated a little bit earlier. Hope you had a great season there. Whatever you're celebrating, I hope you are spending some time with friends and family this time of year. And now that the more I think about it, I think we are probably more excited just to kick 2020 out the door. I just remember this time last year, we're like, 2020 it just sounds like a great year, right? It's just like 2020, the symmetry of the year. It's going to be awesome. It was awesome for about 60 days and then punched us in the nose. So anyway, 21 is my lucky number. That's what I wore as my uniform number in high school baseball, college, hockey. 21 was always my grandparents were both born in 21. That's why I wore that number. So, we'll see. So if it's a bad year again, just blame me, but a year from now, let me know. But today we're here for a trip report and we're headed up to a snowy location here in the United States, New Jersey. Veronica's joining us today. Veronica, how you doing?
I am loving the snow. It is my favorite.
That's good because I know a lot of people hate on the snow. I'm one of those people too. But I think it's because I was a teacher for 17 years. I mean, my God, the best thing that could happen is that you wake up in the morning. Actually, you don't even have to wake up. You just get the phone because I'm so old. You got the phone call, the phone chain, because now it's automated. Just, get an email. It's on Twitter. Back then, we didn't have any of that. It just got the phone rang and it was always like the teacher across the hall, like, Rallman, you're off today. But they'd always tell me that don't go back to sleep. You got to call Gentilly. And I go back to sleep now. Snow's awesome. So you're going to get out there, maybe do some sledding or make a snow?
I don't know. I probably not, but I work at a community college. So this is actually our first, non-snow day where everybody's working from home. So we're all still working and finishing up classes.
There you go. Yeah. I wonder, with all the remote learning, because my wife's been teaching, 4th grade from 15 feet behind where I podcast from all year. And I told her, the glory of a snow day may be a thing of the past because kids aren't in school. Who cares if it's snow?
But there's like more to it than it's just like you need those extra hours. Like just that there's a different energy to a snow day. So we got to keep that going still, please. I try to keep trying to convince my administration, but we'll see.
Well, totally. Because actually that was discussed in my daughter's school district where we live, not where my wife teaches, but where we live. And the superintendent about a month ago sent out an email saying, we know that everybody knows everybody has the resources to do virtual learning at this point. Everybody could do that. He said, but in the long-standing tradition of the snow day, if it snows, we're having a snow day. And everybody was like, guys, old school, we love them. Yes. Just not really any reason to have one other than tradition. So thank God for him.
Exactly.
All right. Let's hop into your trip. We're going to be talking about a trip about this time last month, back in mid-November. And you guys headed down. So before we do that, kind of give me your background on your Disney fandom. What's your backstory as far as ending up listening to a Disney podcast?
Yeah, so I remember as a kid, Disney World was probably the only family vacation we did, and it was like once for my 7th birthday, and that was it. Like we weren't really much of a vacation family, but of course there was still like the wonder of that. So that was probably 93 or so. We stayed at the Polynesian, and now I think about it, I'm like, oh man, I wish.
Yeah, yeah.
But and then it just kind of, was whatever in my life. I meet my future wife, now wife, and we were 5 years ago. We talk about our first vacation, and I'm like, where should we go? And she's like, how about Disney World? I used to go a lot with my family. We stayed off site, but I used to go all the time. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but sure. And 5 years later, we've gone every year. It's our place. It's who we are. It's what people know us for. And it's the planning, it's the researching, the YouTube watching, the listening to you all, of course, that just drives me every day of my life.
It is kind of a cool thing to be kind of in the Disney fandom because, if you're a fan of, say, I've been to Yellowstone National Park, I've been to Yosemite. I know there's probably, maybe there are, I don't know, maybe there could be, a national park podcast or 2 or 3 for fans of that, RVing possibly. But I mean, there's no shortage of content if you're a Disney destinations fan. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, I spend my whole life focused in this kind of fandom, and it's fun because I think it's wholesome, and you find really good people out there that, when back before all the podcast things got rolling about 12, 15 years ago, you thought you were the only one, right? And now you find out, God, there's a bunch of us all over the world.
Yeah, and I'm the planner, I'm an organizer, I'm a spreadsheeter. So it just brings all of that good feels and then combines it with my nerdiness, and it's just the perfect formula for happiness.
That's right. And we say nerdy in a loving way around.
Yes, in the best way.
That's exactly right. All right. You guys headed down mid-November, Coronado, because we got so much to talk about. So I just want to hit all these highlights. Stayed at Coronado in Grand Destino Tower. So for folks that have never been there, folks that are considering it, give us a quick review of that place.
I loved it. I mean, the minute we walk in, the smell, I just keep remembering the smell. Everything was just perfect. I know it was highly recommended as Coronado Springs. We never stayed there before, so it was a brand new resort to us. But the rooms were our favorite rooms by far, spacious with the couch. We loved the bathrooms. And at last, when we were talking about the resorts, everybody, you were like, bathroom and a bath. I mean, these bathrooms are beautiful. So just anything, so many great dining options. It's beautiful. The pool, the slide.
Yes, the Jaguar slide. It's actually,
oh my gosh,
the slide. That's how good it is.
It's the best slide ever. So everything, we really loved everything. It was a fantastic view, being able to see Hollywood Studios, see the Tower of Terror, see Galaxy's Edge from our window, and everything was great. We would stay there again 100%. It kind of took over as our favorite resort.
Gosh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I had a view of Galaxy's Edge too, and I was down there for Princess in February, and that's right before the world stopped. And then, but I don't remember the smell. I guess maybe it's because I was there for a race weekend. I probably smelled, so I probably, maybe
it was the holidays. Maybe they're piping in some like holiday smell or something.
You can get past my own smell of running all the time, I guess. That's Okay, so while you were there, it says that it kind of edged out French Quarter as your favorite resort for right now. And I think that it's just, it's got all the moderate amenities, but everything there, even the dining, the Grand Destino Tower, everything just feels like it's just a little bit nicer, right? It feels like it's a little more on the deluxe side.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously if Port Orleans French Quarter was available, we probably would have stayed there. So I am happy that we got to try it out. We were intending on staying there. So 2020, talk about a year that went wrong. We started off January with a little quick trip. We were going to do our honeymoon in December, and then I found out about a conference that would be taking place at Coronado. So we had like our whole 2020 planned out. We got annual passes. We were like, hey, let's go down for my birthday one day, fly in, fly out. And then that was, everything, like you say, everything kind of halted. So, right. So it allowed us to still do maybe what was going to be 2020. But I would highly recommend it to anybody. It was beautiful. We would 100% go back. Everything was great.
All right, so let's talk about your dining at Coronado Springs, because we're going to get into dining kind of on a whole scale here in just a few minutes. But really, there's a lot of options at Coronado Springs under normal circumstances, but you guys did pretty well even in pandemic times, because I know El Mercado del Coronado has reopened at this point by the time this airs, and that wasn't an option at this point. But how was dining at the resort, even with the restrictions?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a worry. So mainly with breakfast, we went to the Rick's Cafe, I guess is the little kind of pop in, pop out cafe, got some breakfast sandwiches one morning. That was really good. And then one night we met up with some friends at the Rick's Sports Bar for dinner. And then on our final night, we had dinner at the Three Bridges or Lago. I was like, I think it's Three Bridges. And then I saw a Lago. I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, on the side it says like El Lago something, but it's Three Bridges is the name of the restaurant. It is.
Yeah, the coaster said El Lago. It was weird. I was thrown off, but we had an amazing sangria flight there. That was awesome. But they were great. The customer service was great. The food was great. I think overall, probably actually what won out as our favorite dining place was the pool bar. So
my margarita, I've had it a few times.
Yeah, well, we had, I mean, the customer service there, whoever the bartender was, we're tipping her any money we have possible, because she kept calling us like mi amor, and we just felt like there. It was great. But my wife got the Snake River Wagyu hot dog, which sounds really scary, and I don't know. I think she got it just because it's Wagyu.
Thing called Snake, you know.
I'm right there with you. I didn't take a bite.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want to take a bite. She told me to regret it. But I think she just got it because it's Wagyu, and she has that bougie taste bud. So, but she was like, "This is the most phenomenal thing that I have eaten here," which is so funny that it came from a pool bar. But yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah, and also just so everybody knows, I heard this on our agent group the other day. Pam Forster discussed they went down for the agency training back in late October, early November, and they did what was called Sangria University. She talked about it on the podcast, like the agents got together and did this private event where they made sangrias, and there was an excuse to pretend like it was a class. They just all really made drinks and drank. But that is now offered to the general public at Coronado Springs. So if you have a group, you may want to look into that. I don't even think you need a group. I think you just sign up and they do it kind of like how they used to do those tours at Boma and Jico kind of thing, just kind of go over, but you got to pay for that. It does cost money. You're getting alcohol. So anyway, well, that's good, because I've never been to Three Bridges. I mean, I love Coronado, but it's just, when I was there in February, I was like, I got on sweatpants. I'm not going.
Yeah. I will say, we enjoyed the appetizers a lot. For dinner, I did get these like chicken biscuit sandwiches, which I know we'll get to it later, but the day before we had gone to homecoming. So I don't know why I tried to get a chicken biscuit sandwich from anywhere after eating it at homecoming, but I would avoid that. I know it's like right up our alley because you and I have similar taste buds, but I would avoid that when you go.
That's a good call. And homecoming can cause pain. It's at the moment. It's an hour later. You're just like, oh, why'd I do that to myself?
Well, I'm sorry. One last thing about Coronado. So we did feel a little bit more homey there. So we actually asked for a microwave because we had some leftovers, and they brought it to our room, which I was like, this is really cool. Yeah, they just brought you a microwave, and it stayed in our room for a couple nights. And then we actually did our laundry, which we've never really done there. And it was really nice to come home and not have to do laundry.
Yeah, we've done laundry many times at Coronado, because we've gone for like, a 7-night stay, then do a cruise. And so that last night before we go out on the cruise, we do all of our laundry. And you're right. I mean, again, we've said this a few times on the show. It's like, you're thinking, God, I'm at Walt Disney World. Who's going to do their laundry? Like, it's right? What you can do at home. But it is like, you don't have to pack half as much. And plus, it's weird. You got to do it yourself to actually figure out that's kind of a nice thing to do.
It was. And it was spotless. Which, like, laundry, I don't know. It was like a spotless laundry room. It was a great experience.
Even an app that tells you when your stuff is ready.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's head into the parks. Okay, so you went to all 4 parks. Now, again, this was Thanksgiving week, so the crowds were building, as I recall, typically in a normal year as well. So let's start with Epcot.
Yeah.
Like, looking back a month later, what were some of the highlights from that park?
Yeah, Epcot was definitely our favorite. We went in going to eat. So we planned, I think we did maybe, if I counted, 20 or so dishes just in Epcot. Like, we were there to eat from the Food and Wine Festival. So what we actually did was we Ubered to Hollywood Studios and took the Skyliner to Epcot. We love the Skyliner. It's beautiful, and it plops you right into World Showcase. So, of course, the organizer nerd, I had our whole lineup of food and drinks organized by location and the route we were going to take. So Epcot was great. We really enjoyed there definitely were times it felt crowded, but very spacious, lots of places to pop over and eat. Being our first day on vacation, of course, very worried about everything. to have so many spots to just kind of park over and eat felt really comforting. But yeah, Epcot was a great first day, and I actually don't even know how we ate that much because every other day, like we barely ate, but it was awesome.
What catches up to you too, the festival, you're having all these little small plates and samples, but I'm not very disciplined because I'll go get, like I'm like, oh God, I'm in Mexico. I got to get chips and guac, it's a big old boat, it's made for like 3 or 4 people. And I'll, and screw myself all up because I'm trying to sample things. I did that when I was down a couple of weeks ago. And, yeah, it's a challenge, but it is an opportunity. And that's a great way to kind of kick it off. If Epcot's your thing, you got the festival going on. I like that idea of going to the studios and then riding the Skyline or arriving in style.
Yeah.
Like National Gateway. All right. So let's talk Hollywood Studios. Looks like that's next.
Yes.
You have some new stuff to do over there.
Yeah, we were so excited for Mickey and Minnie's. We road dropped, we went right there. And we actually early that morning, of course, got the boarding pass for Rise. Very nervous. This was our first time ever trying the boarding pass. I was able to get it right away. My wife was she was like, I didn't even get to the page yet. How did you get it? So we were quick with that. And we got an early boarding group. I think it was 17, 19, something like that. So we figured, let's do Mickey and Minnie. Let's see where they are with the boarding pass. Maybe we can grab some quick Starbucks breakfast and then go there. So that's pretty much what we did.
So,
it was so much fun.
About Rise, I just want to get this in there. You were successful, and people always ask when somebody's successful getting the Rise Pass, did you remember anything? Because you're a planner, so you obviously had a strategy going in, like this is what's going to happen. So what was your strategy that successfally worked to get that?
I know listening to you talking about like keep your eye on the clock and just kind of, when it's whatever 59, you're going in, and that's pretty much what I did. So, kind of what it was, a 6:59, kind of just keep going, keep refreshing, and it pops up. You do it. Luckily, it's just me and my wife. Oh, my wife is in the chat. That's so funny. It was just me and my wife. So I know with bigger parties, you have to kind of pick the right people and this and that. But it was pretty quick. I wish I had something other than just kind of a constant refresh, but that's pretty much what I did.
It's harrowing. It's, I've had good luck with it, but I mean, it takes, probably 10 days off my life every time I try to get.
Oh yeah. No, we got really lucky. I mean, first time ever, early boarding pass. I know, I'm sorry, but
you enjoyed the attraction. You thought it was worth all the pain in the rear to get it.
Most definitely. And we don't know anything about Star Wars. Like
people that are like the guys that, they have Star Wars rooms in their house that don't get them are going to try to find it.
I know. My brother is a fan. I don't know. But you don't have to be. You just enjoying the new ride technology. And of course they took it up a whole nother level with the ride and the show and their technology. So I just really enjoyed it from like a fan of rides.
Right. Okay. So let's talk Animal Kingdom, the biggest park. And, a lot of folks, this is kind of their, I wouldn't say least favorite. Well, for some people, it's kind of just the one that you get to fourth. It looks like you guys went third. So what'd you think?
We love Animal Kingdom. It's one of our favorites. I'm a big animal person, so I'm sure that helps. So we aimed to go to Flight of Passage with the knowing that everybody and their mom was going there, and that's exactly what happened. So eventually we just said, forget this. We've done it before. Let's do everything else. So we went to everything else. Navi River was like a 10-minute wait. Safari was a 10-minute wait. We went to Expedition Everest and got to ride that twice. And that's our favorite. I was so excited. The first time we rode it, they put us in the absolute last seat. The second time, the absolute front seat. Nice. So it was awesome.
Best seats. I'm getting to the point where I can't take that part where it goes backwards. I'm getting to I'll do it during the marathon. That's the only time I'll ride it just to say I did it. But yeah, other than that, I'll meet you in the store. I hate that because I was that 5 years ago, but
I went on Facebook Live when we were in the front, and I was just like holding onto my phone for dear life. But I was like, "Come on, Facebook people, we're coming along with me."
It's like your promo video right there in the front row. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. So after we did it twice, it was getting really crowded, and there is a lot missing from there. We definitely missed the Harambe musicians and the Lion King, the Festival of Lion King, and Tusker House is one of our favorites. So we just kind of did our thing and dipped out.
Yep, 2020 will take what we can get. We hope that those things come back because I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, the Harambe, live performance right there in the middle of the plaza. That you cannot. I think it is impossible to not stop and be engaged with their show. They were so incredible that. I mean, it really, it's why I go to Walt Disney World. I love the streetmosphere. I love the interactions with the folks who, I mean, they're like building human towers. Like they're climbing up and upside down. I'm like, is this real? And the music's all awesome and it just get all the kids are dancing. That really brings the whole area to life. So I do hope that returns sometime,
Me
hopefully
too.
2021, 22.
And if anybody happens to ever see me there, I'm the one actually dancing with them with the Dole Whip with the dark rum. So if you're not sure it's me, if there's a Dole Whip and dark rum in my hand, it's me. So
Dole Whip with dark rum would definitely help get the groove going.
there's nothing better than it.
I love it. Now wait, okay, so we've gone through this. Now we haven't talked Magic Kingdom, right? And I see you guys did all this, but you only did Magic Kingdom for a half day.
Yes. Right? So if we rewind a little bit, so my wife and I, our wedding date was November 20th, 2020. So last summer, my wife's grandma got sick and we knew that she wasn't going to make it a year or have the, fear that she wouldn't make it a year for our wedding. So we said, well, let's just get married now. So last November 2019, we got married legally, in grandma's living room. Of course, this year comes the wedding, COVID, let's cancel. Unfortunately, grandma passed away. So, I'm happy that we had that moment. So no wedding. So we actually we were going to do this as our honeymoon after our wedding. And we decided to go down and be in Magic Kingdom on we called it our non-wedding day. So November 20th, we spent the day in Magic Kingdom and we did only do half a day. We knew it was going to be crowded. It was a Friday and we were right. It was very crowded. So we're actually happy we only did half a day. And then we, celebrated our wedding and went for a really expensive dinner to finish out the day. So.
Now, is this right? You did Small World and Carousel of Progress for the first time. You mentioned you stayed at the Polynesian when you were a kid and stuff.
I know.
How do you miss those two?
Maybe we did it back then. I was 7. I don't really have the recollection. So these were my first, we did Small World in Disneyland. So this was the first Small World in Disney World. But that's the one that's like the best thing. I mean, like you said, like I said, it's only really been 5 years of being a Disney World person, but to go after 5 years and these two like iconic rides never ride. So I was happy that we got that. And there was a way to kind of make this trip even more special.
Well, when you put too that you rode Splash Mountain for the last time, it's not the last time. It's just the last time under that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I went live for that one too, but it's the last time with this theme. Definitely. I'll probably still sing the song, even if it is whenever it is changed over.
Oh my gosh. They play it on our hold music for when I work as a travel agent. I hear it. Stop. They still play it. I'm surprised they still play it, but they do.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Never leave my conscience ever.
It's awesome.
So you're also a fan of the cavalcades, though. It says here in the notes.
The cavalcades are great.
I've heard anybody doesn't like them.
Yeah, I'm with you all. I hope they keep it. I think the pressure of a certain parade at a certain time, I love it. I say keep it. I mean, we were on Main Street in the morning for an hour or so. We saw 3 that go by. So Santa and Goofy and the Dapper Dance and all that. It was great. So 100% cavalcades, one of those post-COVID things I hope they keep.
That's right. It's lessons we've learned, and that's something that could stick around. I totally agree. All right. So everybody's waiting. Let's talk food. Let's talk dining. Yes. Again, you mentioned you really hit the Food and Wine Festival hard there as you arrived. So any favorites, anything that stuck out that maybe hopefully they'll come back next year's festival?
Yeah. So definitely the Flavors of Fire booth, and I think it's going to come back again. It's this chimichurri skirt steak over like a corn, kind of like a cornbread, corn pancake kind of thing with the pickled onions on top. Oh my gosh, it was so good, 100%. And then whatever beer was there, there was a really good beer with. Actually, I think we tried to find to see if they sell it over here. It was so good. So that one, and then the Citrus Blossom booth, there's a crispy chicken and also a wine slushy or sangria wine slushy, something like that. Those two are outstandings. And of course we did the cake pop, the frozen cake pop and all these different things, but those two 100%. And then we finished it up in France. They had a pumpkin ice cream martini. It was just something that they just made up. They put a lot of things in a cup and put alcohol on it. but covered it in whipped cream and then covered it in this pumpkin macaron or macaroon, whichever.
Sorry, you got me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. You know what I'm talking about. So we actually were like, let's pretend we're YouTube vloggers, and we brought everybody around the world with us. And then so I'm like, oh wow, and then there's this pumpkin macaron. Let me try it. And I put the whole thing in my mouth, and it was like an oh my God moment. It was so good. And then of course, funny enough, my wife is taping me, and she's like, you didn't want me to try that? You were just gonna put the whole thing in your mouth? I was like, no, you wouldn't like it. Trust me.
Well, I mean, they sell more than one. You can go back and get a second. That's what I always do, and I always eat the whole thing. And especially like we got those cake pops. We were down there in August. I was like, oh, good. I mean, it was big too, and I was like, I tore that thing up. I was like, oh, you want one, Mallory? Okay, yeah, let's go get it.
They are big.
They're huge. I know they're cheap. They're like $5. I mean, I shouldn't say they're not bad.
So, yeah, no, but everything was so good. And the lobster roll in America was really good too. I love my favorite alcoholic drink in Epcot is the Red Stag lemonade in America. So I got that. I got a lobster roll. The mariachi group was playing. I was in like heaven. The mariachi group was my favorite.
I love them. Mariachi Cobra.
Yeah.
I wish I was there right now. Okay, so you also did 50s prime time for the first time during.
Yes.
You got the meatloaf. That's my favorite too.
Yeah, we started with the sampler. That was one of those days where we were like, how are we even going to eat a dinner? So of course, like we thought about you. I was like, let's try the sampler and the meatloaf, and then my wife was like, I think I'm just going to get a meatloaf for myself. And I'm like, that's fine. So we did that. We did the PB&J milkshake. Like I said, I was channeling you. I was trying to say like, what would Mike get?
You're killing me right now. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But it was good. We sat in the back, so we didn't get one of the fun booths. But I actually, being very COVID scared, I was actually happy that we were kind of off to the side. But it was great. We told them it was our, honeymoon non-wedding, and they gave us some champagne. So it was good stuff.
They got into Dad's liquor cabinet.
Yeah. I literally laughed out loud. That was so cute when he said that.
All right. So you mentioned homecoming. So I wanted to talk about that before we move on. So what did you get there, and what kind of what'd you think? Like, I mean, overall, because we do rave about it, but it's I'm from the Midwest. Like, we like comfort food. We like biscuits. We like deviled eggs. I mean, that is our jam. I mean, I don't know if it's so much East Coast thing. I mean, what were your thoughts?
No, 100%. I mean, we're right there with you. I mean, thigh-high chicken biscuit sandwich, you can't go wrong no matter where you're from. So we were really excited. It was our first time there. We got to sit right in front of the kitchen, so we got to watch them kind of putting all the dishes out, which was really cool. We started with the deviled eggs and the thigh-high chicken biscuits, and honestly, I could have done another round of that for dinner. But that was, and I apologize. I texted you earlier that day. I'm like, okay, we're doing homecoming, and you were just like, I'm eating a rice cake thing.
Yes, they're like cold cut turkey sandwich or something like Rice Krispies. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, but thigh-high chicken biscuits, I'll get that as an appetizer, get it as entree, eat it as dessert, like all the time. The deviled eggs were good too. I'm a big deviled egg fan. Our entrees we barely could even get through because we were just like so enamored by the appetizers. But I did get the fried chicken and donuts, and my wife got the short rib. So we ate what we could, and then that was when we got the microwave, and we enjoyed the rest the next day. So it was really good stuff. And then they threw in the hummingbird cake for our honeymoon as on the house.
See, that's the thing is I always get like comped for like a birthday or, an anniversary or something when I'm stuffed. Like I only get it when I can't really enjoy it. That's like, I'll get a cupcake. Like, thanks. I can't take another bite, but I appreciate the offer.
Yeah. But oh man, those chicken thigh highs, that was my other, oh my God moment. So like, that just made me stop in my tracks. I want some now.
Yes. That's,
but yeah, and other than that, one of my standouts, the mac and cheese at homecoming was really good too. But anyway, they had a Tree of Life cupcake in Animal Kingdom. I don't know if it was just for the holidays or if it's usually there. I'm sure it's not always there, but that was really good. That was like a pumpkin cupcake with like a toffee cream filling. So those were highlights of food.
So, okay, so we got to move on because I
know.
hard to podcast your mouth's watering. Okay, so no more homecoming. No. So you mentioned you guys were on you're celebrating your honeymoon, so you're looking to do some special stuff. One of the things that you wanted to do, which I always say, if you're looking for something special to do for a Disney fan on a vacation, is a behind the scenes tour. Start off, I like with Keys to the Kingdom, or if you're into trains, do the train tour. If you want to if you're into marine biology, do the snorkeling or the scuba diving with the, over at the seas at Epcot. But right now they're not offering those. So
Yeah.
what did you guys do to kind of make this trip stand out? A couple extra.
Yeah. So what we wanted to do was that day would have been our wedding day. So we hired the Magic Moments, Capture Your Moments photo shoot with the PhotoPass photographers. And figured we kind of do the morning, get some shots by the castle. Since we got married last year, we saved a couple things for our wedding, being the wedding rings. So we had our wedding rings. We did a little kind of exchange of the rings. And the photo shoot was great. So pretty much we set it for really early in the morning, knowing that we would get hot and sweaty and let's take the pictures as soon as we can. So enough time to go and kind of, see the castle, walk up Main Street, and then we checked in with them. So they were wonderful. We got 2 photographers. It's a 20-minute photo shoot for $50, which is really great. They bring you into kind of the garden. You meet kind of by Tony Town Square on the right-hand side. They take you kind of by the garden, take some pictures. They bring you up around the back. They give, a couple of different locations. And then we finished by the castle. So doing the ring exchange by the castle, taking pictures. And then actually a cavalcade was going by, one with Mickey and Minnie. And I looked at the photographer. I was like, can we try to get the parade? So we ran over, pause. We're like, Mickey turns around, smiles, puts, his hand up. And then the good thing about mask and photos is you can have the worst smile ever and it doesn't matter.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that until just now. You're right. We got something on teeth. Who cares? I can say.
Yeah, that actually worked out. So we just ran, called Mickey's name, turned around, smiled, got a picture. But it was awesome. It was definitely a way to, kind of have a special moment that morning. And then we did our thing at Magic Kingdom and then went to dinner. So we originally had planned also to do California Grill because I think about, channeling Pam Forrester. And I'm like, what would be a really nice dinner? California Grill. And we're going to be in Magic Kingdom. We could take the monorail, boom. Right before we left, my brother and my sister-in-law gave us a wedding gift, and it was an amazing wedding gift. And so I look at my wife, and I'm like, oh, we are going bigger than California Grill. So we actually went to the Waldorf Astoria Bull and Bear restaurant, which...
See, I know nothing about this place, so tell us about it.
I don't know really much anything either. So we're big fans of the trackers on YouTube. And so they went there one time. I told you my wife is bougie. She has bougie taste. So she specifically, of course, saw this video of a really expensive dinner that they went to and was like, this is great. I want to go here one day. So I had it on our list of, places to go for our honeymoon. And they had kind of in conjunction with the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, they had a food and wine pairing, 7 courses paired with wine. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm with you in the Midwest. I am a total, we did not fit in here, but we made it work. We went with it. You sit down, there's 3 waiters, waiting on you. The salad dressing, which was the most simplest, but the most amazing salad dressing, they store it in a barrel for a year and then store it in a bottle for a year. And then it
a lot of work.
It was just, yeah.
I'm used to my wishbone, out of the grocery store, 99 cents a bottle.
100%. And then we're eating. And of course it's 7 courses. So it's 7 small courses. And I'm like, I don't know if we're even going to be full, but oh my gosh, they needed to roll us out of there. It was amazing. And then of course my lovely bougie wife was like, we have to do this every time we come back. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but I love you. So let's try to make it happen.
You'd be like, I won't look at the pictures.
Right.
We'll order some Domino's and we'll look at the
picture. As we eat and look at the picture, maybe we'll think we're actually there.
$5 bottle of wine. And yeah, fine. No, you know what? Because I am not a fancy eater, but I have gone to some fancy places because of the podcast. Pam, we did a podcast cruise one year and Pam got not only did we do Palo, which is at exclusive adults restaurant on the back of the ship, but she got the captain's room or something. It's a private room within the fancy restaurant. I'm like, oh man, I do not know what's going on. I don't know. They're not going to let me, but they did because we're all together. And the thing I learned is you just kind of watch everybody around you and okay, they're using that fork. All right. You ordered that. Well, that looks like it could be like a steak. I don't know. I enjoy
Yeah.
it. Like, you know what? There's probably people all over the place, like us that maybe don't have the background, but I think that's how you learn and that's how you live life, right? You get to have
Yeah. And I took the approach of like the staff probably gets the people who quote unquote do belong there. So let's have fun with them. I was like cracking jokes and just I'm like you could let loose with us. There it was great.
Totally. One time we did at the Grand Floridian, they do that tea, right? The I forget what it's got a certain name, but I can't remember it
Mhm.
offhand. But yeah, you do the afternoon tea and they give
Yeah,
you triangular sandwiches and all that stuff. So the lady, we're doing this with the Foresters, the guard Scott and his family, a bunch of us, was like 12 of us. And they had all done it except me and my family, of course, because my girls, that we don't do stuff like this. But they asked me to come out. Well, how do you like your tea? I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm from St. Louis. I'm like, the only tea I've ever had in my life is McDonald's sweet tea. Like, the lady almost died. She's like, McDonald's sweet tea. She's like, we don't have it here. I'm like, I didn't say I need McDonald's sweet tea. I said that's the only kind of tea I've ever had. Like, or in my grandma's sweet tea, which was awesome. She's like, oh, we'll take care of you. I was her favorite because like I was a pity case, right? Because she's like, this cat doesn't know whatever he's getting, and it was fun though.
yeah.
You got to have experiences like that. It's still a fun story, so I love it.
Mhm.
Okay, so a couple more things. So we're on a little short, but I won't get all this in. You went over to Universal, so give us a quick nugget on that.
Yeah, so I know one of your recent trip reports talked about Universal as well. So pretty much the same. I do like some of the things they do. They pump the hand sanitizer on you before you get on a ride. And what was really interesting is that my wife is a super hand sanitizer. Like she is all about that. So she was like, "No, I do not want this hand." It was literally like thick tequila coming on your hands. So she's like, I have my own hand sanitizer. And they were like, no, we have to put this one on. Otherwise, I can call my manager and they can confirm that your hand sanitizer is appropriate. We were like, whoa, okay.
50%, I promise, 80%, whatever it's got to be.
Exactly. So yeah, it got crowded as well. We pretty much went there for Harry Potter, the new Hagrid ride. And my wife is a big Harry Potter fan, so she said it was the best ride of both parks. I unfortunately didn't fit into the ride, which I know is our like next part. But she did the ride herself and said it was the best in both parks. So I do look forward to taking that ride at some point.
Yeah, I'll try it someday. I don't know who Hagrid is. I mean, I know I could picture.
If I can enjoy Rise of the Resistance.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I rode one of the Harry Potter rides when I was down there in 2018. Didn't have a clue what was going on. About made me puke. But yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
I did me around. I'm like, I don't know what this is. The person's on a broom. Okay. I didn't know that stuff, but it was fine. It was fine. I love, you know what? I love the theming of the Harry Potter areas. I mean, that is, you're talking immersive. It's so beautiful.
And the queues are beautiful. And you've done the train to both sides, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's just amazing. The first time I did that, I was like, whoa, so awesome.
Still the one thing I'll never forget about that area is the store that has the kid puking in the window. Like, I'm like, what's that barfing in the window. Okay, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm not sure if I realized that, but my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan. So in Diagon Alley, last time we went, I proposed to her there. I was like, this is your favorite place in the world. I'm going to be a nerd and propose to you here in Diagon Alley. I mean, she said my whole proposal was in the Disney store because we couldn't obviously go to Disney World and bring her whole family. So she did it in a Disney store. So we're big nerds, but makes for a good story.
The funny thing is, if you go to Harry Potter area over Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade or whatever over at Universal, if you're not a Harry Potter fan but you go with a Harry Potter fan, they will tell you every backstory of every, like, you see that nick on that brick, that's because in the Rise of Phoenix, this Horcrux came over and I don't need to know why that crack's there on that brick. It's cool looking. That's all I care about.
Yeah, the wand store, Ollivanders.
Yes.
So I don't know. Did you go to the part that has like the show part to it first?
I know about it, but I did not because I didn't need a wand. I'd rather have a lightsaber, but this is me.
So we did that just the first time there, just to experience, and of course I get picked, and I'm not the Harry Potter person. My wife is, so I have no idea what's going on, and they're having me do these spells, and there's one spell like aguamente, but I'm Spanish, so I'm like aguamente, and my wife's like, it's not a Spanish word. It's a Harry Potter word, but I felt so bad being like the non-Harry Potter fan getting picked for this special experience. But it's great.
That's how it always goes. And the kid that's like read every book 7 times forward and backwards. Wow, you're the one. That's how life goes, kid. Get used to it. Okay. You wanted to close out on, we talk about in the Disney community, like being poo-sized and trying to make things work and the challenges and how the parks are actually doing a pretty good job on a lot of things. So address that. Like how you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
So give us some thoughts on that for folks heading down.
Sure. So, and I've never really heard it talked about. So I was like, let me try to get this in. So being poo size, of course, a curvier person, someone with some hips on you. So I am a poo size Disney fan. And going to Disney, I think definitely Universal is a lot more size restrictive with their rides. So I think if anybody's going to Universal, you will be aware that there are a lot of rides you cannot go on. For example, I couldn't get on Hagrid's ride, and pretty much any Harry Potter ride I don't fit on. I mostly just get on like Spider-Man or some of the more simpler rides. For Disney, pretty much every ride is very poo friendly. And I find that, so if you're as a poo size person, you're probably going to have trouble on Flights of Passage and maybe Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I made it work, but you're not going to be totally comfortable. And the new Tron ride, I'm pretty sure is probably not going to be size inclusive because Flights of Passage really wasn't that way. And I wanted to ask you, Mike, because I feel like even tall people on Flights of Passage,
right? Now,
it's hard.
With Seven Dwarfs is rough on me too because I'm 6'3". Yeah. There are a lot of rides that my knees just. I'm trying to think of another one.
I feel like Splash Mountain potentially could be like that too, because it is a little bit of a
log. You get a little more leg room. Like if you're in the front of the log, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, I think even tall people have challenges. Now I know like Henry Warwick, who used to do Beta Mouse, he was like 6'7". I mean, I can't imagine. Like there are rides I think that even tall people can't.
Yeah. So like, very few rides. I think it definitely has to do with that. Because a lot of the rides aren't really. So we were excited this time to be able to go on Cali River Rapids. We've never been on there. I've always just kind of passed it by. But being that every line was so short, and they have a seatbelt, but it wasn't long enough to fit the seatbelt. But then I go on Soarin', and Soarin' has a seatbelt that's long enough. So it all varies on the ride. But I definitely would think for the really tall, and then of course the thicker ones of us, that there are some rides that are a little bit either tight or just not going to happen. But overall, Disney, whether it's a kind of a handicap seat that you can take an arm off of. I know in Carousel of Progress, I asked them, I said, is there a seat where I can pull the armrest up? And they were able to put me in there. And we did the same thing at the Muppets show last time we went. So a lot of times the cast members, you just ask, and more often than not, there's not a problem. Even for Carousel of Progress, I know a lot of in the poo community will talk about the turnstile and how the turnstile is really tight. And you just kind of let them know, hey, can I go through the handicap chain part? And that's no problem at all.
Good deal. And you mentioned too, Navi River Journey, you said had kind of a really nice setup. Yes. That's one of the newest rides at Walt Disney World.
Yeah. So for those boat rides, they're definitely getting better with that. I found that Splash Mountain, because also Splash is a long ride. So, you're kind of cramped in there. And then, a couple of minutes, you're like, all right, are we almost there yet? But Navi River as a newer ride was great. So we're working towards the good, we'll get there.
Good deal. That's right. Okay, so we're wrapping it up, but I just want to congratulate you guys. Sounds like you had a wonderful trip, and congratulations to you too. Now, crazy Disney fans, so you always got to have something on the horizon, even if it's not official. It may be official. Like, what's the plan for moving forward? What are you hoping to do next?
I mean, we keep talking about going back soon, like March, April, May soon. So the plan was to go on my birthday, which was last May. So of course we're like, okay, let's try birthday again and see if that's possible. We had purchased the 2020 annual pass. Everything happened. They gave us the opportunity to get it refunded. We did. And then we were like, oh no, but we really want it. And then we bought it again because we just like giving Disney our money. So now we have the annual pass and we're like, well, we got to make it worth it. So now we keep looking at opportunities to go. So, I think a lot of it is the quarantining when you come back, trying to think about a good time, work-wise for myself to be able to do that, because I do some things in person. And then of course, cases are rising and you're trying to be mindful of that. It definitely was there were lots of feels to going. And is it okay that I go? I feel guilty. People have lost a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But job, I help people go down, and I wanted to make sure, I wanted to know firsthand what is it like so that I can tell people. I mean, and I felt very comfortable there, but you're right. I mean, you feel guilty because, some people are against travel in all cases, and I can understand where people say that, but I also am relatively healthy, and my daughter was relatively healthy, and we had the time and the means, and I just wanted to do that recently. And I mean, let's face it, I'm trying to justify it, but I'm a huge Disney fan.
Well, yeah, I mean, for us, we're like, well, it was our honeymoon, so that was, well, you didn't have a wedding, so here's your honeymoon. I'm like, if we go again, what kind of justification is there other than we just really want to go?
I mean, you can always find some reason. That's what.
Yeah.
All right, Veronica, I appreciate it so much, and hope you had a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year. Let's make 2021 awesome.
Thank you so much, Mike. Same to you.
All right. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today over at themagicforless.com. They'd like to thank all of their guests here in 2020. Your support this year, more than any other year, meant so much to us because we know that you had to be extremely patient when it came to Disney trip planning. You might have had a cruise planned. Well, that didn't happen. Maybe you had hey, we're going to go down in June. We're going to have this blowout trip to Walt Disney World. Well, that didn't happen. You had to wait on that one a little bit. Maybe you're going to go to Disneyland. Well, that's still not happening. So thank you for your patience, and we're going to be there for you in 2021 as we move forward. We're going to always make sure you have an amazing trip at the lowest cost possible. And when you book a trip with the Magic for Less, you're supporting an American small business, and that means the world to us and our families. So please do, when you plan that next trip, just drop by themagicforless.com, fill out the quote form, and mention the show, and I'll be working with you together to plan a great vacation. Again, over at themagicforless.com. Don't forget, if you shop online, if you're like me, I mean, I'm a procrastinator, right? And Christmas is over. You still got to get something, like say you didn't see whoever you got to see for Christmas yet. Like you're like, I'll see him like the first week of January. If you still got to do some holiday shopping, I won't tell. Use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Trust me, I've been there. And also thank you to all of our patrons. You guys are awesome. You've really helped us out here in 2020. Keep the show going. I can't thank you enough for that. If you'd like some extra content in your week, like Mike in the Midwest every Thursday, just go over to patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. And of course, subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube. We are going to be back again on Wednesday with more of your listener questions, the last ones of 2020. And we'll keep it rocking right into 2021. So for Veronica, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Monday. Time to get back to work. Or if you're a teacher, just back to Price is Right or something. And we'll see you real soon. Boom. Thank you. Veronica has a good one. And Rhonda agrees. Rhonda with the purple hair agrees.
Love it.
Love it. All right. Well, you have a good evening. And this will be out on that Monday, a week from this Monday.
Thank you. Oh, can I make a song request
Yes.
for the beginning? Something There, Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my favorites.
I will find a version.
I've heard you play it before, so I think you have it somewhere.
It's from Disney Weddings. I will try to find it. I'll get on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Have a good night and Merry Christmas.
You too. Same to you.
Bye.
Bye.